They asked me in interviews who was the most influential person beside Bruce Lee. And I said, Amos Alonzo Stagg. And he says, was he a judo man or was he karate man?
They don't realize he's a football man.
I said, no, he's football. I said, no, that's not what we were after.
You know who Amos Alonzo Stagg is? He's the father of modern football.
Gee, it's funny you remember that. That's Amos Alonzo Stagg was like, he was the most winningest coach in American football. I got to be coaching for maybe 10 minutes every day and how to kick.
And you got a scholarship to college.
Yeah, luckily I got it.
For football and track and field. A lot of people don't know that about you, Dad.
He was really inspirational in my life, you know. But I didn't know who he was. Didn't really understand him until I was out of college, out of the military, already teaching for about 10 years.
Which kind of leads into the next thing too, is you know, a lot of people don't realize that you were responsible for basically kicking off a very controversial but important program back in the 70s, working with the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, actually,
Tom Landry, because you knew Dr. Bob Ward.
Dr. Bob Ward was a genius.
So there's a connection. There's
Dr. Bob Ward was the one who brought martial art training into professional football.
That's right.
But he's a genius, just a genius. And so I went to school with Paul Ward and Maurice Ward, with the younger brothers of the Wards. But this guy is unbelievable. He took all the sensitivity drills and he brought it into the Dallas Cowboys. He took the stick drills because he realized that was important for the football players. So he was actually the one that really pushed it, you know.
Yeah, but it's so cute because Dr. Bob Ward is always also saying how important you were, because this was the two of you coming together, and then it was Tom Landry that, you know, Tom Landry is a legend, and of course he always talked about Amos Alonzo Stagg being his inspiration, and it's just so weird how it came around full circle. And I love how
that part I didn't know. I didn't know he.
Oh yeah, like if you look at old footage of Tom Landry or old articles, he talks about Amos Alonzo Stagg. So it's just so wild that, you know, here you knew, you know, Coach Stagg as a young teenager, and he gave you, you know, his roots and inspiration, and then you ended up working with the Dallas Cowboys, and you were part of the first program ever in the NFL to where they utilize martial arts in football. And it's because Dr. Bob Ward talked about like how football is like the little brother of combat and war. And so, and then because of you, Randy White became MVP and the Doomsday Defense.
Well, I think it was because of Bob Ward more than me, but I think what it was really good, it really brought in the training the attributes. And Bob Ward is brilliant. You know, he got jugglers from the ends so they can learn how to juggle the football. You know, he brought in so many different people to help, you know.
What was that like, though, to meet, though, when you were asked to appear at the Cowboys and you were meeting all of, particularly the Doomsday Defense?
They used to have a camp here in Thousand Oaks, which is not too far from here. And for me, it was really, I knew, I'd never seen the value of martial art for football if it wasn't for Dr. Bob Ward. Dr. Bob Ward was the one who I think made me aware.
Yeah, but you made him aware because he was your student as well.
I think it goes right back to that chart up there, that anything that will help the football player in strength, in speed, in stamina, in skill, or in strategy, or in spirit, you know, like the psychology part is very, very important. Anything that will help the person in suppleness, you know, I think that's important. So I think all those basic things are attributes that you can give a football player, and or anything, you know. For you look at even martial arts, what does skip roping really have to do with fighting? But everybody does it. A boxer does it. I mean, you're not going to get in the ring and start skip roping. So what does kettlebells or what CrossFit training got to really do with fighting? That's a part, because it's building an attribute. You're building strength, you're building speed, you're building stamina, you know, you're building footwork speed or hand speed. Anything that will enhance that in the training is supplemental. So I think that's where I think Dr. Bob Ward was really just brilliant on that.
You guys opened the doors to a whole other way of approaching playing one of America's favorite games. And I mean, it's interesting now because when I was talking to Dr. Bob Ward, you know, he talked about how many football teams are out there, or players that are using the material off of, and it was mainly the hubad. And they don't even realize it goes all the way back into that time period when you were first introducing it to the Cowboys.
It's because the same movements of stick fighting can be mixed with knife fighting, and can be mixed with the hands you might use as a defensive player, or even possibly an offensive player. So I think it has a lot of good things that can be added to it with it. Yeah.